Lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I ain't going back, I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Way back a year ago.
What's up, everyone? Aloha. Welcome, Flex. I know you're used to having like 800 people in your chats, but
About how much I got
I gotta ask
content.
you one question though that has nothing to do with anything, but I ask everyone: do you believe in ghosts, aliens, and or Bigfoot?
Um, Ghosts. Well, I don't know about ghosts themselves, but demons I do. Um, Aliens I think are real, but I mean, just how vast the universe is in itself. I would say aliens. Bigfoot though. If you're talking, there's like a monkey dinosaur, I guess. Like it's called the what Gigapithecus, I believe. But that's probably the closest thing to a Bigfoot. I don't know. It's like I don't know about a Bigfoot, but close to one. You know.
Right? Wow. So, man, I got so many questions for you though about you and your channel. Um,
Yeah, shoot
oh
for it.
shoot, I forgot to do that. I was gonna put your channel. Shoot, maybe I'll get that in a second. But so yeah, tell us a little bit about like you and what your channel's about. And
Well, I'm a dumb nerd. I guess right after high school, ended up joining the army. I earned an airborne contract in the army, so I went to airborne school, did that. Uh, Straight when I was getting my orders to my unit, I was stationed up in Italy, which I lucked out on big time. But my unit was deployed to Afghanistan, so as soon as I got there, I went straight to Afghanistan, just as a stupid 18-year-old kid, not knowing jack shit about anything. Um, I was thrown on the front lines. Learned a lot my very first week there. We ended up doing a little mission, and I was in an MRAP, which is just like a big armored vehicle. We ended up driving over an anti-tank mine, and it blew up directly underneath me. So that was my welcome to Afghanistan there. I've been through a lot of stuff. I've been through well over 50 firefights, just getting shot at, shooting back. Um, that was my first deployment. Just some crazy stuff happened, and ended up. I hated the Army every minute I was in it. At least, 95% of the time in the Army is just sucks. It's just horrible. But you do have the 5% of really, really crazy stuff that you're able to do that no one else gets to do, and you're a part of a certain brotherhood where it doesn't exist in the civilian side of life. And during that time, I just hated the Army so much. But we were with a brand new group of guys that have never been deployed before, and um, the last thing I was ever going to do is re-up or extend my contract. But I wanted to extend my contract, which I did do, so I could go on my second deployment, just to ensure that everybody got home safe. Just because I'd feel absolutely horrible if I didn't go with them, and a few of them died, whatnot. And on my second deployment, the first month in there, maybe 2 3 weeks, um, we were in a big firefight, and an RPG ended up blowing up 3 feet or so above my head. We were in a little Connex at the time, and it killed a real hero, Theodore Glendy. And it wounded everybody else that ran to the Connex with me, except for me. He took the shrapnel that would have been mine. I just had shrapnel on my flag afterwards, and um, so that event right there just changed my life forever, because I got to see what the ultimate sacrifice was. Experienced it literally in my arms through some crazy things. And I'm no hero, but I did, and I was so lucky to serve side by side and fight side by side with actual heroes. And so I ended up getting out of the Army. I didn't know what I was going to do, so I used my GI Bill and whatnot to just go to college. I majored in just a bunch of different things because I didn't know what to do. At one point, I wanted to be a firefighter. I think they're called smoke jumpers, where you jump out jump out of plane, parachute in, and deal with the fires that way. That was my goal at one point. So I went to school, EMT and whatnot. I did that for a little bit, but they paid like 11, $12 an hour, which is a joke. You could get a job at a gas station that pays more. And so I was like, well, this job ain't worth it. And I've done different things: cell phone tower technician, climbing the cell phone towers and installing all that stuff. I've done many security jobs, worked at a casino, did just a bunch of different things. And um, I still didn't know what the hell I was going to do. I was like, shit, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. And during one of my jobs as an armed security guy, I worked at public transportation in Denver at the airport. Um, I had a partner that kept watching these like kind of anti-cop videos, and at the time I was a super back the blue nerd that's like, yeah, go police, yeah,
I've been there.
and I didn't quite understand exactly how bad really was with the police. And he just kept playing these like First Amendment auditing videos from um, what is it, Auditing America, and a bunch of other ones. I was like, damn, what the hell? Like, and I always thought, if they just complied, they would be just fine, which is probably true. However, I started digging deeper to why they were doing it, and they are standing up for the rights that I thought I was fighting for, and I swore an oath to. And it started to build a picture exactly what these people were doing and how very important it is, whether they could be assholes or not. It's um, at the same point, that's their right to do this. So that's something that we have to defend no matter what. And so I was thinking for a while. I mean, I was so against it at first, but then I started being like, you know what, I definitely understand. And then here rolls my 30th birthday. And on my 30th birthday, I grabbed the camera, went out there with a little tripod, and I filmed at the one of the sheriff departments in Colorado, and my video ended up going viral in Lackluster, San Joaquin Valley. They all ended up sharing that. So that's how I got my start in the YouTube. I was like, oh shit, okay. And then from there, it started. The first maybe 8 months or so, my videos are looking back on it, they were kind of cringy because I tried doing like the professional approach, but kind of following what Amagansett Press or somebody like that would do. And then I started to evolve more into the comedy side, and that's where Grandma came to be, and a bunch of all these other weird ass characters. And now I just do my own thing because any job I've had, I've always had a lighthearted comedic approach to it. I didn't care. I just wanted to have some fun, and that's exactly what freedom is. You don't have to be a professional nerd. You could go out and just have fun with things. You don't have to be this one certain way. That's why I do what I do in my style.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, because I was there too, man. I was just talking about this last night that I used to be a bootlicker and same thing, they're just doing their job. Just, yeah. And then I don't even know how, but I just got into the 1A community somehow. But wow, that's awesome, man. I never knew that about your first video, and then it just went viral and just took off
Yeah, I
like that.
lucked out big time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
It's pretty rare too.
Yeah, I was lucky. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would continue, if I would have continued if my channel went nowhere, There's the whole point. I want people, I don't care about the money. Sure, it's nice to have some help here and there, but I've lost way more money than I've earned doing this. So it's never about that. I never make it about that, but I would rather just my message and have other people wake up and see the truth and stand up for their rights themselves. That's my whole goal in doing this. I'm blind.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Steph Richard said Ming Lee is still on the loose.
yeah, we will find you, Mr. Lee. I promise that. By the way, I'm going to be doing some secret agent mingling investigations this Wednesday, most likely. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, I know everyone loves Grandma because,
Yeah,
dude, that's just crazy. I think you and I have like so much in common. I mean, my birthday was yesterday. Yours was what, last week?
Yeah.
And then
Happy
like
birthday.
even with the music, thank you. Even with the music you've been using, it's like same music, and it's just. But in the comedy side, I love the comedy side. But I don't know how you do that with the Grandma thing because like I think it's hilarious, but I don't know if I'd be able to do that personally.
Yeah, I mean, you got to degrade yourself a lot to get into character. I mean, at the same time, it's all, you got to do a lot of acting, I suppose. But
right.
because if you just see me, in the private life, just come hang out, I'm really not that funny. I'm pretty boring. I don't do a whole lot of things. But when I do get into character, at one point I was a happy-go-lucky person that was just says the most random shit all the time, but I don't, sadly it's not like that anymore. So at least when I get in character and do all that, it kind of takes me back to when my brain was like that and we were all happy and shit. So that is a good part about it, I suppose.
Right.
Hey Cheryl, hey Andy, welcome.
Yeah, aloha everyone in chat. I know it's kind of got thrown off because one of my other co-hosts is also live on a different channel, so it's kind of a lot of the subscribers are in between. But
yeah, I'll make sure I'll throw this on the community tab afterwards and get some.
right on.
I got the best supporters on my side, so maybe
Yeah, you have a great channel, man. That's when you said you do this, I was so excited. I'm like, wow, this is gonna be great. But you were saying though with the military, so you went in and you just did four years?
Yeah, I did 4. Or, I mean, originally I signed up for 3 years and the minimum 3 years, 4 months, and then that's when I extended my contract to do 4, so I could do that second deployment. But I mean, it's weird because somebody with such a short, service time like that doesn't really like. I was, 2 combat deployments for, so it was about half of it just, overseas in Afghanistan. So that was, I don't know, it was a horrible time, but looking back on it, definitely proud that I was able to make it through there and meet some actual badasses and whatnot. And that's when you actually find some people are born with that warrior gene, whatever it may be. Maybe it's from, their ancestors that used to fight in war like crazy. But I believe I'm the first person in my family tree, at least that I know of, that actually served in the military or served in war. So I didn't have that, when shit was popping off. That's scary as hell. Until it happens to you, that shit is scary.
Right.
At some points, fear just takes over, and then you just can't have fear take over when you're in war because you just can't act how you should react. And at least now, looking back at it, I got the fear part under control. So if shit were to happen now in America, hell yeah, I'm good to go. I'm game now.
Right. Which is kind of scary because who knows if shit might happen in America, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to.
It's going to, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
because
just waiting.
we're kind of due for a World War III coming up, or even part of a civil war. I think probably both will go together, just how the world events are going and countries clashing right now. I truly believe it's coming way sooner than people expect, and it could be months, it could be weeks, it could be a couple years, but I do think it's definitely coming. You just got to be prepared yourself for the inevitable because it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, before we
Yeah.
went live, I was just watching the news and Israel's hitting Iran.
Say
My
that again. You're
see,
watching.
Oh, you're roboting, Dave. Yeah, and he muted. He'll be back. So dang, but what I was gonna ask you something else about the auditing with because I was seeing the video and a bunch of clips, but what's the story on with all that Waterloo and you had to actually had to go to jail.
Yeah, I just got out of jail not long ago. I got absolutely steamrolled and cucked over. That all happened from me filming my neighbor. Came back from doing an audit or an investigation, whatever you would like to call it. And I noticed there was a bunch of unmarked police trucks behind me, and I thought they were after me. So I was like, "What the hell? Like, what the hell is going on?" Ended up parking at my house. All those unmarked police trucks ended up having about 15, 20 police officers at my neighbor's house. So I grabbed the camera, started filming. Never went on property, always on a public sidewalk or even be, not that far up on the public sidewalk, and filming the arrest from about 50 feet or so away. And then one of the lieutenants there sees me that I'm recording there. So he obviously didn't like that, tries telling me to move. And at that point, I was getting kind of pissed because they were roughing my neighbor around. And, I made a comment about, hey, you got a pimple on your chin. And then he walks away and he lets that fester up, the pimple fester as well. And then he turns around and he got so butt hurt. He's like, get off here. We're doing a search warrant. And it, like, I'm not on the property for one, and I'm so far away. And then he starts shoving me in the street and whatnot. And anytime, a man or anybody puts hands on me, um, I'm 100% rated disabled through the VA for PTSD in itself. I have a bunch of other shit going on, but, so when that shit happens, I go into like the fight or flight mode. Luckily, I can control myself from, turning physical against somebody, but yeah, I just started hurling the First Amendment at him, just making insults and whatnot, because you don't put hands on another person. If that was anybody else, I would have defended myself and rocked the nerd, dropped him. But obviously, you can't do that if they got a badge and a gun and their little boyfriends all over. You just can't do that because you don't want some felonies to be stuck in there forever. And I just go on the opposite side to film while there's plenty of people walking throughout the scene. I never was, just with a group of people. And I see all the officers standing on the fence line doing nothing for about 15, 20 minutes. And, I'm just talking to them, whatnot, and cussing here and there. And one of the sergeants got just super offended that I was cussing. So he storms over to the group of people right around me, and he tries to solicit a disorderly conduct, asking everybody, "Are you offended by this guy's language?" And everyone said no. And that's when I said the famous line where I always put it on the end of my video. I was like, "Yeah, you're a tyrant. Suck my dick." And then
Yep.
he just got so butthurt. He's like, "All right," and then he arrested me for that. Obviously, he couldn't get disorderly conduct, so they said they all have their little game. So they said that I was interfering. So I got charged with interference with official acts, which perfectly states in the statute that verbal harassment is no part of this, and I have to make an obstacle, or I have to touch them in some manner, which I found out, I had to go to court, and just then my VA disability back pay came in. So I got lucky there, and sadly, I paid well over 20 to 30 grand. It's going to be close to 30 when I got to pay it very soon, but I had to pay for an attorney. By the way, if you're trying to stand up for your rights, and you're like, "Yeah, I'll get an attorney, no problem." Well, I'll tell you what, it's almost impossible to find yourself an attorney. It just is so rare, especially in Iowa. Any bootlicking place, I mean, you're pretty much out of luck. But yeah, we had an attorney. We went to trial, the jury trial, and one of the six jury members was a sitting city councilman, which is unheard of. Like, what the hell? And that city councilman even made comments saying he'd be hesitant to side against the police because he works with them. When we were doing the jury selection, over 2/3 raised their hands that they're personal friends with police. Like, the whole thing, you could tell, is just rigged against me.
Not biased.
They probably, huh?
I said that's not biased at all.
Yeah, they
Right.
probably got the jury from a blue line, uh, like rally of some sort. But we did that whole jury trial. Took 2 days, and they came back. When they were doing the deliberation, the jury asked information or questions about the statute, because they're talking about verbal harassment's not part of it. Where's the physical contact? And the judge said, "No, we're not going to explain to you what the statute is, blah, blah, blah." And they ended up saying that the prosecutor said that the physical act happened when I got pushed in the street. I never initiated anything, but it was me getting pushed by them. So that just means, if you're doing anything, a cop comes up to you and touches you, there you could be found guilty, because that happened to me. And then they came back with a guilty verdict. They said 30 days in jail with 20 suspended, making it 10 days that I had to serve, and 1 year probation, which turned to 1 year self probation. Which really doesn't mean anything. But yeah, I had to go do that 10 days locked up in jail for free speech and filming my neighbor get arrested. I just got completely railroaded by the system. Very corrupt judge, everything.
Yeah, because I mean, even the fact that he was a sitting council member, that's like conflict of interest. You would
Yeah, that should
think.
disqualify it, or at least give me an appeal, something. But we already tried that. We tried doing appeals, and even appealed to the Iowa Supreme Court twice. We exhausted everything that we could. And the Supreme Court's not going to look at a simple misdemeanor. They have too much other shit, and they don't care about that. And they didn't. So they just denied it. And they appeal, by the way. In a normal state, if you appeal, yeah, you'll get your appeal. However, in Iowa, the law is written to where if you're charged with a simple misdemeanor, even though it carries 30 days in jail, the appeal decision is up to the exact same court. So if the court's corrupt, they're going to obviously deny your appeal, and that's exactly what happened to me. I just got steamrolled the whole way, and now I got to do what I got to do to make things right. And I'm going to try. I'm going to run for city council to knock that same jury member out of his spot, and I'm going to take over. And once I'm there, ooh, it's game on. That's going to be glorious. That happens in 2025, so I got a little bit of time to work with, and I got to make sure I do everything right, though.
That's still awesome though that you're doing that because
Yeah, you got to
man,
do something. I mean, I've been thinking about it for so long. Like, what can we actually do to make some change? And there's only a couple things that I could think of, and um, we really need to infiltrate government positions, especially elected, with people that are freedom-loving people that like the Constitution, that would put that above all instead of their own political gain. So even my plan is to run for city council, and I'm not going to take any money. I don't care about the salary there. If they want to pay me, I'll put it all back into Waterloo, Iowa, where I got arrested. So I'm going to do something like that. Like, I'm not there for the money. I don't care about that. I'm here to stand up for our rights and send a message to them all. And that's going to happen. It's just going to take a little bit of time and a lot of hard work to get me there, but it's definitely going down.
So I got a quick question for you. When you were filming, you were far enough away and you were on public property. What were you actually filming that got them upset?
The brutality of my neighbor getting arrested. So
Ah,
what they doing
okay.
is they surrounded him, were tasing him. He was resisting to where he wasn't like fighting him off, but he was resisting the cuffs, like putting his arms, like locking him so they couldn't put the cuffs on. But they ended up tasing him a couple times. Once he was on the ground, they did the whole knee on the neck type shit and was rubbing his head on the
Oh,
uh, on the cement there. And then afterwards, which was like really fucked up, I thought, even though that's very messed up, they ended up hog tying his ass and then like putting him in the police cars and whatnot, hog tied. Like, I don't know, the whole thing was just pretty messed up. And they didn't want me, videotaping that. So they're a very corrupt police department and
wow.
didn't even know who I was at the time. And um, now they do. Now they
Well,
wish they didn't mess with me.
you have the right to actually ask for that body footage, right? Camera
Yeah.
footage.
So if
yeah, foil.
so you can get all that. FOIA they can deny here and there if it's under investigation, but if you're gonna do like a lawsuit or you have to go to court to defend yourself, yeah, you get it through discovery. And I got all of that footage from discovery. So that's how I even found out because the guy's mom said, "Oh, they roughed his head up, they scraped him, blah blah." And then I have the body cam footage of him like going to jail and his head's all jacked up, like he's missing some hair and whatnot. So
Wow.
definitely seen it.
Isn't it? It's always weird how the cops are always like, "Well, we're recording," and their body cam, but they get so pissed if anyone else is recording them because it's always weird how bits of their body cam footage is always missing or
Oh
muted.
yeah, exactly. Yep. And
Always
that's
Malfunctioning.
why
muted.
you got to record them because if they'll deny you body cams. Like I've been denied multiple times out in Iowa for certain body cams or phone calls. It's all public that I deserve, under freedom of information. But Um, so I'm going to be working on, the next steps, and I'll probably do a video on how, if you get denied FOIA requests for X reason, that this is how the proper steps to go to actually get all that. Because, yeah, if they're doing something wrong, they're going to try everything to hide it from you. And if you don't pursue to the fullest, you will never get it. So that's exactly, I'm going to do that here, maybe tomorrow or the next day with a few other departments. So,
Man, it's crazy out. It's
Yeah.
getting crazy out
Wow.
there for sure.
yeah, it's only
Well,
getting
yeah,
worse.
because you went to jail and then Hendry went to
Yeah.
jail and then
Yep. Henry, I'm
Chili
working on a video for
and
him right now too. So yeah, he's doing
okay.
easy shit. Chili got apps, whether you like him or not.
I
That
was
dude
just gonna say
the railroad,
like
the
like
judge.
him or hate him because me personally, I don't like the guy. I don't like his style, but it
Yeah, I
doesn't
don't know
matter if you like him
with
or
that
not.
shit. Yeah.
What happened to him was wrong and
Yeah,
corrupt, and it's
you got to stand up for that because that can happen to anybody and it will happen to anybody.
yep.
You cannot let this shit happen. Judges think they're gods. Judges are, in my opinion, even worse than the police because they can't be touched for the most part. You really can't touch a judge. They're the last say type person, and they know that. That's why they have that God complex to where, oh, what are you going to do? Oh, I'll get you, say anything, contempt or anything. They'll give you bullshit charges, and you're already going to be fighting in a very corrupt system that's so unfair that your chances are you will lose. So
Mhm.
that's what you got to work with. It's once you're in it and see it all, you understand just how evil and corrupt the judicial system actually is, and it's insane that the people before me have let it get so bad, and now there might not be. We barely have any hope to get shit to where it needs to be, the land of the free. And right now we're just it's all a big illusion, sadly.
Yeah, that's so true. What's up, as if it's your business? Aloha, brother. But that's wild, man. That's like, like all the auditing channels. I mean, you mentioned Am Against It Pressed earlier, and I haven't seen him in a little bit, but
Yeah, he
yeah,
changes.
because
He's doing more like
I've
travel
always
shit, so I don't know.
I wanted to get into it and start doing it myself, but I'm like I'm like the kind of guy I talk about it all day, and I know everything in the back of my hand, but when I'm in the moment, my brain just goes blank when I'm in the moment. So then I'm like, and then I just forget everything. So it's like I'd get myself in more trouble.
Yeah, that would be a little bit risky. I mean, you could always find if you had like a group of people or a couple people that could work together, because I understand it could be really intimidating, if you start out and shit, and you go up straight to the bee's hive or whatever you want to call it, and go straight there, and yeah, you might forget a lot of things, just under the pressure. But if you have a few people with you that know their shit, then things tend to be a lot easier and work out. That's my
Right.
advice, guess, if you are looking to do it, and you'll forget shit or whatnot. I mean, you just got to play by the basic rules. Just study certain state statutes, but even you don't need to know that much. Just stay on what I'm doing now, I'm just staying on public sidewalks. I'll go on public buildings here and there, but if you're on a public sidewalk recording, I mean, you're good to go.
Yep.
That's pretty much it, unless if you're doing some crazy shit. But um, that's you'll be fine if you do that.
Yeah. And the best life. Yes, this is the Butt Crack News Network guy. Is asking. This is BCNN guy, right?
It is BCNN, Butt Crack News Network, pal. We are the leader in real news.
That is, dude. I love your videos, man. They're just.
Thank you.
I think. What are you at? I think you should be at like 1 million subscribers. I really don't.
Yeah,
You're at what, 80,000?
right about. Yeah, I think I need like 220 more to hit 80,000, and then I just need to throw it. I am getting kind of cucked by YouTube. That last video, it was off, to a good start, 10,000 within like an hour 40 or something, 10,000 views. Not bad. But something happened with YouTube to where nobody was able for a solid 30-40 minute window to leave a like, and it was working fine, and then just that window, no one could leave a like, and I couldn't like their stuff. So, and I had many people email me, tell me that, and what that does is kills the algorithm. So the video, got 30,000 in the first day, and it's completely dead, at 32, which, whatever, it wasn't like the best video, but it was pretty decent. um
Yeah,
you know
no, I know which one you're talking about. I
yeah,
watched it, and yeah, I'm looking now because yeah, it's at 32,000.
yeah, it got killed off in the algorithm, so that just because of that stupid thing. I don't know if it was intentional on YouTube's behalf, or if it was just a glitch, but yeah, that cucked me. So that kind of sucks, but I'll be back out there again. I got a few other BCNN documentary videos to do, like Henry. I'm going to be covering all the shit with him because he's dealing with insane corruption. I got a couple others I'm going to do, and then I have a bunch of protesting videos to put together and Second Amendment things to put together, because I've been to that same police department that unlawfully arrested me, and I was found guilty and thrown in jail. I've been there multiple times, you know, with this 2A wearing my body armor and my M4 Glock. I just go out, walk through the police parking lots and protest out there. And I'm going to start getting a big group together to peacefully exercise our first and second out there. And so that's going to be coming soon.
Oh,
And if
that's
they
cool.
shoot me, hey, that's good content for everybody else. They're like, oh, dang, grandma just got capped. But no, we'll be good to go. We'll be solid.
Yeah. And as if it's your business, says tell Flex I'm going to trial for 1A charge.
Dang. I wish you the best.
But
Just know it's a very corrupt system out there. Very, very corrupt. I guess if you have it on video, you can always reach out to me. Send it there, flexyourfreedoms@gmail.com. My YouTube name at Gmail. You can check the email there. I may not necessarily share it myself because I don't share videos for the most part. But I can get in contact, you know, with other people that do share videos. And if it's good, you know, if it's the right type of video for the big channels, you know, maybe Lackluster or something, I can.
yeah, lackluster. Here's the deal. That's
Yeah, I'm doing one of those interview panel things with Here's the Deal tomorrow as well. So
oh no shit, dude. That's
yeah,
yeah. I've been trying to get here's the deal on here, but I know that dude is real busy, man. He's like
oh yeah, he puts out
he's
multiple videos like a day
yeah, he's
now.
got like 8 videos a day coming out and like
Yeah,
2 lives on top of it. It's like man,
I don't know how he.
It's a
I could barely.
full-time
I can't
job,
make
brother.
hey,
what's
what's
that?
up?
I said it's a full-time job.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I understand, you know, if you're sharing videos and talking over them, it's much easier, but it's still a shit ton of work. So, yeah, that guy's
Yeah,
busy. Um, I'm busy, even though I only don't, I might post one video a week type thing, but that's just because sometimes it's hard to get content. I got to go drive one way, you know, over 2 hours one way and then over 2 hours back. Sometimes you don't get anything. And you got to look at the weather. If it's too windy, it's going to ruin the content. You know, if it's raining or snowing, you know, you got to pick your days. And sometimes it's hard to get that content, but I just let it go organically. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You know, I don't even really think a skit. Sometimes we might have an idea or two, but I just do everything like improv style organically as it happens. And I find that to work actually well for me. Surprisingly, I'm not good at many things, but I'm pretty good at doing like the witty remarks or whatnot, and just the improv style of doing it.
yeah. So stealing trees. Asking what part of Iowa?
Um, by Waterloo, if you know where Waterloo's at. I mean, there's a couple places in Iowa that you know, I can stay at, but around Waterloo, I guess that's, I don't even know if that's central Iowa or it's kind of central, I suppose, but I mean, I'm all throughout Iowa. You'll see me all over the place.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, I could imagine, dude, just driving 2 hours one way just to hopefully get something and then not even getting anything and then that's like,
Yeah.
you know, that's a
A
full
lot of the
day's
time,
work.
yeah, a lot of the time you don't get content. So, you know, it feels great when you do though, but yeah, a lot of the time, you know, I've gone like 10 plus times driving out there, got nothing, but you know, it'll happen here and there. So, sadly in Iowa for me, and I mean, it's a good thing, but kind of sad because, in Iowa, my name has been, you know, passed around Iowa because no one else out here does that. And so they all know who grandma is. You know, they know who Butt Crack News Network and I am. And so they're kind of privy to us already to where like they have, you know, their own rules and whatnot. Like, hey, if this guy's out here filming, don't mess with him. He'll make you look stupid because I
Right.
do. I mean, they make themselves look stupid. I just, you know, I'm doing a little character thing. And I guess I'm really good at trolling. So I don't know how you can't tell I'm trolling you, but they for some reason they all never know that I'm trolling them. It's really bizarre. I don't know if that goes hand in hand with like the low IQ of the police officers nowadays. That very well could be. But yeah, it's fun because I always make it fun. I'll do live streams here and there for people to watch the special investigations live and see how it actually works behind the scenes. And I feed off the people in chat because they'll say some funny things or give me an idea here and there, and I'll pick that up right away and just use it. So we do have some fun, and I'm gonna have to do some more of those live stream investigations. People like those.
Yeah, and then when you do those 2-hour drives, and that when you go as grandma, do you get all dressed up as grandma and shit, and then
I
do the
mean, when I
drive,
get
or
there, nah.
when you
But
get
once
there?
I get
Okay.
to the place, because I don't want to look like an idiot on my whole way there. So, and plus I have to go in somewhere to take a piss or go, a gas station. So I don't want to look like a complete idiot. And yeah, I got to degrade myself to get in character. But it's for a good reason. And same time, I always think like, damn, this is awkward, but it's much more awkward for somebody interacting with me than it is for me. So that kind of gives me a little one up. And
Yeah.
then, I get to a certain location where I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk from here, and I put on that dumbass lipstick, put on the grandma hair, and do all that shit and get
You
out
got the
there.
grandma hair.
Yeah.
Dude,
So we
it's
do that,
great
and it's
too.
fun.
I gotta watch
And,
it. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna check it
well,
out.
Oh, have
including
you
myself.
not watched the grandma ones yet, or?
No, I gotta check it out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty funny. It'll be worth watching. I have a lot of them that are. I just try to put out content that's good that I would actually watch, because I'm pretty like, if I get some content, I'm like, that wasn't that good, or I don't feel like I would use my time to watch that, then I never put it out. So pretty much all the videos I have out now are definitely worth watching, checking out.
Yeah,
Everything.
content is not easy to get.
Yeah, it's really not. Which is, it can be a definite good thing, a sign that, things are changing to where the police are actually understanding what we're doing and respecting those rights. So if we don't get a call, or if people do call and the cops don't show up, or if the cops show up and just talk to them and leave, that's a win in my book, even though I don't get the content. At least the main mission was won, to where, they are respecting our rights. So I do take that as a victory, even though, yeah, I don't get the YouTube, content, or, this anything worth traveling out there, but it's a good sign that, hey, shit is either respecting our rights, and most of the time they don't. So
Yeah, because I know, including myself, I know everyone loves grandma. It's like,
yeah,
here,
people like
I'll
grandma too
show.
much. It kind of sucks for me, but yeah, I got to keep it going.
Hey, making fun of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it all the
Yeah.
time.
I'm just gonna play like the first minute of this, just to
Oh,
show Dave and
Yeah.
everyone watching if they haven't seen. But yeah, grandma's awesome.
All right, darling. Grandma's just going to have some looking around then.
Do you need any help or anything?
Grandma would love your help, darling. Right? Grandma's going to do some snooping. So
I'll just don't.
Grandma's an investigator.
Okay.
See, I got my badge on today, so.
Don't touch any of the vehicles. Okay.
Oh, Grandma has some slippery hands.
I know
So.
you can get in trouble.
Oh, Grandma can outrun anybody though, so it's a tough one. Grandma trained Usain Bolt back in the 1980s.
Okay. I'm being serious.
Oh, serious Sammy. Them old people deserve death.
Hey, don't film inside the vehicle.
Grandma's filming.
Grandma's filming.
Why not, darling?
Because there's personal property in there, and there's sensitive items in there.
But Grandma's in public.
Don't film inside of the vehicle, okay?
But Grandma's in public.
You can't film other people inside of other people's cars, okay?
Oh, I can't film inside other people's.
Personal property. I'm telling you not to do it, though, okay?
Is that an order?
Yes.
So
Look at
you'll
this
arrest
dude's
me if
face,
I do?
too. He's like so confused. He's just like, what the hell's going on right now?
Are you mean to elderly folks?
One, sir, you're not elderly, okay?
That's discrimination.
Well, then fine.
I don't approve of this, sir.
Okay, well, your behavior right now, filming inside of a police vehicle, is suspicious. So I'm going to ask for your ID now.
Oh, did I commit a crime?
You're being suspicious. So I'm
What
now,
crime is that?
I
Is that a
am now-
misdemeanor
I
or
am now
felony?
investigating.
For what crime? Suspicious and it's not a crime.
No, Because I haven't determined yet if you've committed a crime. But
Well, you have to before you come and ask for ID.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, what's the Fourth Amendment, silly?
I do not need.
No, the Fourth
I
Amendment?
do not need permission.
Yes, you
ask
do.
you to
We have a
identify
constitution.
I don't need permission from you especially. You have not committed a crime yet, but
There
right
we
now
go. There's the
There we
answer.
go.
Suspect.
So no, I'm suspect of you.
I have probable cause.
You have to have reasonable, articulable suspicion before you can
I
have
do.
probable cause.
Given your demeanor and given you,
Oh, so it's illegal to be a grandma now? Grandma doesn't back down from shit.
I don't care if you back down or not.
Grandma's
You
a
look
stud.
ridiculous, is what you look.
You look like a nerd. That's what you look like. What you gonna do, nerdy Nerdleton? Nothing.
Stanley.
Just because you don't like what I'm doing doesn't mean it's wrong. You called me, or what did you say about me?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I look ridiculous. He initiated it, and you called me weird. I'm a grandma.
You can dress whatever. way
Exactly, Stanley. You look like a dumb nerd.
you want to. That's kind of
See,
rude.
well, he's dressing like a nerd.
If you keep calling
Look-
him that,
I think
that
it,
you're
I,
getting probably
I don't
some
know.
sort of
I don't-
harassment. Okay, let's just stop. Let's stop.
It's great because I don't know like how you stay in character. That's got to be like so hard because
I love this cop's laughing. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know, the staying in character part. It's when I originally started doing the grandma character and shit, when it got serious and whatnot, I there were times where I went out of character, but then I was rewatching. I was like, oh, that's kind of cringy. That I have to stay in character, or it's not going to be funny, and it's the best way to punk them. So the best way to punk corruption is just to troll the shit out of them. You don't got to cuss and do all that, but if you just troll them like that, that's the best punishment. And at the same time, that's the best way to make them learn something, because they're always going to be thinking about, oh, that damn grandma, can't, I have to actually understand the oath that I swore to uphold and whatnot. So, yeah, staying in character, I don't know. It's, I don't know how I don't know. I'm kind of a super depressed person anyway, so I don't like when shit. I don't laugh or anything when I'm doing the character, so it's pretty easy to stay in character. I don't give it away that I'm doing a character. I just be the character.
I think it's hilarious. I love that the cop was laughing because he couldn't even.
yeah,
It's just so ridiculous that he was like, even he was laughing.
Yeah,
you could
by the
tell
way,
in his face.
that cop got he ended up at first I thought he quit the department, but he actually got fired from that department because of this, because that video in itself got like millions of views across the board. And then I think I don't know, close to 500,000 maybe on my channel, but a shit ton of other channels picked that video up, and it got insane traction, and they ended up firing that officer because they made the department look bad. And then, which is kind of wild, I know where he's working now, and he's at another police department, and Grandma's going to go visit him soon. So that's going to be if I see him there, he's going to get some PTSD from that for sure. That's going to be funny.
Stanley, silly, stupid Stanley.
That
That's what
was
I think.
funny when he said Stanley. I laughed. Yeah, that was great. Stanley. Reminded me of
Sure.
Three's Company. Remember that show? Stanley was the landlord.
I
yeah.
haven't watched that show that much.
Oh, Stanley.
Damn,
So
Stanley.
I'm gonna bring someone else up, Flex. His As If It's Your Business. He was in the chat, and he's the one that's got the jury trial coming up.
Oh, okay.
What's up? As If. Aloha, brother.
Hey, brother, how are you? Oh, and belated happy birthday to you. I didn't see the notice
thank
until like this morning.
Okay.
Steve's officially an old geezer.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I hope you have 100 more.
Damn, you're gonna live old.
Gonna be 156.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Well, no, wouldn't it be 179 or something like that? I mean,
Something
according to Ronnie.
Yeah, something
Oh,
like
198. Yeah.
that. Ronnie's 298.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh man, good to see you guys. Hey, Flex, man, I love your content. I do a lot of driving for my just going place to place for my job because I'm in IT, so I got to go wherever the broken crap is to fix it. But I mostly listen to most of the content, so I just flip it on and listen to it because I don't really need to see you because I already know the way you are. but some of the trolling that you do is so epic. And I'm just as soon as you start trolling, and I just know it, I'm just cracking up while I'm driving down the road. It
Yeah,
just,
thank you.
bro, you're on it. I love it. I mean, I've done a little bit of content. Some of my content's okay. I've done a little bit of trolling, but um, I'll tell you one funny one I had about like a year or so ago. I was watching this group of guys that were like four guys that were in handcuffs, and a couple of them were, sitting on the curb like dogs. And I'm watching them, and as soon as one of the guys got out of cuffs, he pointed his finger at me, and I was like, yeah, dude, you don't think maybe the reason that I'm filming you and the cops know that I'm filming you is the reason you just got out of cuffs and you're pointing your finger at me like, I don't want him filming me. I mean,
Yeah,
people are so
people like
silly.
that. Yeah, stupid.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so my 1A charge, well, actually it was four about a week ago, and one got dismissed, and in Georgia they call it demurred, but anyway, that was for disorderly conduct, so they didn't really have a case on that. But interestingly, in Georgia, um, the if the primary charge fails, the secondary charge can still stand. So that's why I have to go to jury trial on Monday. Now, my other two charges should have hit statute of limitations about a month ago, and then like right at the last minute, the prosecution slid in an accusation. I'm like, what are y'all doubling down on stupid or something? Just so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it, I can't really do much unless if it's recorded, but I don't know if you had all that recorded or not.
No, because the one I'm going to trial for next week happened in a polling station because the bitch that was running the polling station was the voting before. I asked her for some sample ballots and she gave me the wrong sample ballots like twice. I already had history with her, and then she reduced all the polling stations on the next one. And I was like, why? Why'd you do that? Same amount of voters. And so she just got her feelings. She needed some butt crack cream,
Oh, there you
and
go.
so she called feelings enforcement, and then so I'm going to court next week to deal with her, you know, butt cream situation.
Yeah, I wish you the best luck there because you already know how corrupt the judicial system is. Hopefully you got some good jurors on there that aren't all bootlicking nerds. That actually like freedom. So
Well,
maybe
one
okay.
one thing I will say is when you are looking for a lawyer, um, do not hire a lawyer for what they know. Hire a lawyer for who they know.
Yeah, that's some good advice.
I mean, because you want the lawyer that golfing and lunching and other extracurricular activities with the judge,
Yeah,
or
no, that
came
does
up in the
work.
system with the judge. Yeah, because there's it's just a much different like a tension in court when they know each other or have known each other for a long time. But if you get a junior lawyer who doesn't know all the people in the system, you have problems.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes sense.
So
It's either that or if you're doing a jury trial, you'll need to get an attorney outside of that county because then they could actually go hard on them rather than be all buddy buddy with them trying to be in court to where they don't object to certain things. You know, so both of those do work. But yeah, I mean, if you're able to get that insider info or a veteran attorney that's always dealing with the courts, yeah, then that probably would be the best route. But none of them wanted to represent me anyway, so I had to get
Well,
some couple hours
you know,
later.
I'm gonna drop some unverified information on the crowd here that I learned from an attorney somewhere that judges have some super secret, not on the books type of training in order to learn how to avoid the Constitution in their charges, so that they can force the state charges over the Constitution. So they're just wiggling around the Constitution, and they work very hard at doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to because they have to interpret the Constitution and interpret the law so they can. That's how they manipulate anything and get around things because it's all to their interpretation of it, and that's what cucked me too. Because clearly, if you go by the Constitution or the state laws, that I was good to go, but they interpreted it much differently than actually what it is because they're
Yeah.
corrupt. That's exactly what they'll do. They'll try any and every way to just they don't like you,
Yeah.
they're going to most likely lose because they're going to manipulate how it goes.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
exactly. I
Yep.
mean, during the demurrer or the dismissal case or yeah, episode, whatever they call that crap, yeah, the junior prosecutor, was like, oh yeah, he was just basically a jerk, because he asked the poll workers some questions. And I was like, come on, man, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything. I don't say anything in court. I hired a mouthpiece for that.
Yeah, it's best to let them do the work, but at the same time, sometimes it's just better to do it pro se, at least if you know what you're doing there. Because I kind of wish I know I would have had a better shot at winning if I did mine pro se rather than hire the $20,000 to $30,000 lawyer that I had, because he didn't fight like he should. He didn't object to everything like he should. Um, and if you know enough, or if you have to know quite a bit, especially the procedure part. That's what I don't know. Where they
Yeah.
do all certain paperwork after they do certain motions, whatnot. But that's my
hmm
lacking point. But I guarantee you, I could have won over that jury a hell of a lot better than my attorney did or attempted to
Oh,
do.
I think most of us could mop the floor with any, DAs or junior prosecutors or whatever. But what they get us on is the technicalities of moving the paperwork around.
Yeah, they have that system built in place to where if you are going to do it pro se, they make it the hardest way possible to where you have to know everything with procedures and everything. But we are in the day and age that temporarily, until it starts going against us, we have AI. Like I've been using Chat GPT 4.0, and they're coming out with like an attorney AI that's I think in pre-release right now, but that shit, you could say, hey, what are all these steps, blah, blah, blah. Write out my motion for me, give them information. Then you could edit things yourself to make it, a little bit more accurate. But nowadays, shit, the AI is is better than most attorneys because they're only humans. You're not going to remember everything. Unlike AI, you type that shit in, it pops right up. You can get
Yep.
sources, case law, anything like that. That's what I've been using AI recently. That's what a couple other big name channels that do, that have been pro se themselves have used. And that way you actually have a shot now instead of just having to read for countless hours to try to get everything right and you could still mess up. At least with AI, you have all the procedures in front of you. You can make it write things for you. It's a big help for sure. But that's going to go away soon when it starts. AI starts working against the people and whatnot. But at least in this time, yeah, AI is the best way if you're going to go pro se or at least learn things about the court system in itself.
Right. Chat GPT is okay. There's a lot better AIs for legal research and whatnot. I mean, I'm AI certified, so I could probably throw 100 AIs at a particular situation. Um, GPT is a good start. And then from there, you got to, find some other resources. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I agree. Looking up case law just on its own, even if you hire a lawyer, because you still, for people like us that understand our rights and that get out there with the camera and we've interfaced with cops and we shut them down or got arrested unlawfully or whatever. We have a different understanding of it. So, we're going to feed the lawyer uh, information that's relevant to us. So it's not like we're a street lawyer or a jailhouse lawyer or anything like that. It's just that we've educated ourselves on what we are doing. And what we are doing is important. And so we're focused on the laws that we know.
yeah, yep, definitely helps out. Um, I got to take a piss really fast. I have drank a lot of water here tonight. So give me like about 20 seconds. Hopefully I won't get indecent exposure charge out here, but you never know. There have been cops lurking around my house lately. So give me about 20
Hey,
seconds and I'll be right back.
you got 21.9 seconds.
Oh
So
my
as if
goodness,
so as
folks,
if you
how
go
are
on,
we doing out there?
you said on Monday you have a jury trial, huh?
I do.
And shout out to
I do.
Accountability Amplified and Aloha and thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey, hey, hey. I can't see the chat. I can see what you put up, but I can't do streaming and chat at the same time. Those are some really talented folks. Anna Banana, good to see you.
We're back in business. It's like a fire hose, super pressure. I could get it out there fast, So we're good.
Like a missile.
Yep. IBM, ICBM.
You gotta squeeze it, bro, until
Or a
you just
Moab.
can't take it, and then let it go.
Right.
Maybe that was a Moab.
Could have been.
So you know what, Flex? I never looked
So
into this, but do you have merchandise on your channel?
Yeah, so I did make some merch on there. I don't really advertise it that much, and it hasn't. Surprisingly, I mean, I thought I would get a lot more people that would want some because so many asked for it, but I only got a couple orders, so I don't really. I I got to change that up. But while I was in jail, I met this dude that's an artist, a big time artist in there, and he drew me up some things for the Flex Your Freedoms, and he was like the only one in there because most of the time I either don't show my face or I'm wearing certain things or I'm grandma, so they don't know who I am, and he was the only one that actually recognized me. But he's a big artist in there, so what I'm going to be doing is and I'm in communication with him right now that he's in jail. They get these little tablets, you can text to each other, but it costs a bunch of money. I'm getting him to drop a bunch more like designs and whatnot, and I'm using his. I want to do like use his designs and put it on the merch to where it's actually like for multiple causes, from my own thing to helping somebody that's behind bars that's trying to better their life, and buy his work, and I'd use that money to help him out, instead of doing really anything for me. So
Hey Flex, I watched one of your videos today, and you've always done that little Coke in a baggie. But
Yeah.
the screenshot that I saw today with these little Coke bottles in a baggie, I always thought you just had liquid, Coca-Cola in a baggie.
oh no,
But then
that's probably a
I saw
second
these
one.
little bottles, and I was like, why is that not merchandise on Flex Your Freedom?
Well, that's what I was
It,
thinking about doing that. Yeah, that I could give some, anybody that wants a baggie with a little Coke in it, I could set up those little drug baggie things and put that little Coke in it and, you know, give them
Yeah, that
away.
little Coke bottle, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
I think I'll probably do that. That's a good idea.
and actually, Mary Janes are hard to find.
Yeah, well, they used to not be because you could find them all at the dollar stores, but yeah, nowadays, or at least in the past year, yeah, they've stopped. They like have discontinued them for the most part in the dollar
Well,
store.
that's because the dollar stores are going to have to change their name to the $5 store.
That's
Right.
true. Yep.
Right.
Yep,
You
it's
know,
getting out of
so
hand.
there's that. But yeah, man. I mean, trolling cops, it's just amazing. You know, my very first video and the whole even reason I started this was a cop that walked up behind me while I was sitting in the lobby of a hotel room that I rented, and he just started going off about me handing him ID, and we hadn't even had a conversation yet. Um, it's just amazing how cops will just demand ID and people just give it over.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean that's ignorance on both hands of ignorance of the cop not knowing jack shit about the oath he swore for the Fourth Amendment, and then you got most Americans are just most Americans are stupid, to be honest with you. They don't know jack about their rights, yet they live in the land of the free. Like why don't you know what freedoms you have? And so a lot of Americans, yeah, they're just dumb. They've been taught to just comply, and that's exactly what they do. Because yeah, sure, if
Yep.
you just comply, yeah, probably you'll be all right. But yet you don't have rights, you don't have freedoms. Why aren't you standing up and using your freedoms that you have that actual heroes fought and died for? Like, kind of blows my mind. Yeah, most people don't know jack about what freedoms we have, and I, you know, that I expose that every time that I'm out there making videos because half the time, if I'm grandma or if you watch the video where I'm Muslim grandma, you know, the
Yeah,
whole
I saw that.
hated me. They all wanted they they wanted me ran off. They wanted me thrown in a cage. You know, people just drive by and cuss at you, say, "What? You can't do this," blah blah. But they're so stupid because that whole town is infested with bootlicker, just comply people that you know don't even know what freedoms they have, and that's the problem in America.
Hey, but you know what, Flex? Hey, the brilliance of that video was that you were exercising three of the five of the First Amendment all at
Yeah.
one time.
Yep.
I mean, it just I was like, wait a minute, okay, so he's doing religion, press, and freedom of speech. Holy crap, he's doing all of them at one time. That was brilliant, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, I just one of those things, I guess, about that burqa because I wanted to try it out, and because you know you don't have to agree with any religion. You certainly don't have to agree with a religion. However, in America, you must understand that you don't want to strip down that religion's rights in any way because as soon as you do that, just like for free speech, people are saying hate speech. As soon as you put that in there, you're stripping down that right. And then guess what's going to happen? Let's say the Christians hate the Muslims and they're like, you know, we can't have this in America, blah, blah, to where, well, guess what? Then your religion is next because you've already opened the door for that right
Mhm.
to get chipped down and destroyed and manipulated any way you please. That's why you don't have to agree with the religion, but you have to agree um, and make sure and you know, protect that person's right to the religion, whether it's, you know, whatever religion it may be, because yours will
Right,
be.
Yeah.
but the other part of the religion part of the First Amendment to me is, as San Joaquin Valley Transparency always says, it's not just freedom of religion; it's also freedom from religion.
Yeah, and to separate. Yep, to separate it. But you know, the separation from church and state and whatnot. That's clearly. I don't know why it's gotten like that. But yes, it's supposed to be. You know, you can believe whatever you want here. This is the land of the free. Of course, you don't have
Well,
to. You know, there's no one set religion. You won't get jacked up or you know thrown in a cage for exercising a certain religion. You
Yeah,
don't have
government should
religion.
never
You know.
get involved in religion at all. They
Yep.
should leave it
But
alone.
yeah, but yeah, you
well,
know,
but
you see it all the time in government to where they go for a certain religion or pick one and then they use that religion to dictate either laws or beliefs for to the people but that's not supposed to be, keep that in your private life. Sure, absolutely. But, as soon as you start dictating that, you'll have, depending on what other, president or whoever's an elected official for a certain religion, then they're going to be throwing that stuff on you, which, you don't have to be a part of, because that's not what the Constitution states. It's supposed to be separated.
You
But
can
yeah,
see that now, like even with Biden trying to get the Muslim vote, and you're seeing like how he's acting toward Israel and different things. You can see
yeah,
he's obviously pandering
Well,
to the Muslims at this point for votes.
yeah, that's
well, it's
the
not only that,
political
but like,
sphere stuff just like that. It's bad.
well, it's not only that, but the freedom of religion, like the First Amendment, the reason why they were so sensitive to it is because it kind of goes back to Henry VIII. He wanted to get divorced, and he asked the Pope, for a divorce, and the Pope said no. So he said, okay, you know what? F you, get out of my country. And then so he became the titular head of the Church of England. And so, there was, several hundred years of Church of England, and all those, the founding fathers were like, you know what? Yeah, no, we need a separation of church and state, really, because they were also trying to divide any kind of, like a king, queen, president, whatever. So there was a separation between, because like right now, King Charles is actually the head of the Church of England. And so I think that's what the founding fathers were after, as well as other things. But they were trying to, just put an axe on the separation of, of a president or king or whatever being any kind of a head of a religion, in the newfound country.
I think they were oppressed and left there so that they could be free to practice their own religion. And that's why they
That as
set
well.
out for where they ended up and
Yeah,
met
I
the
mean,
little Indians.
throughout history, and really throughout all of history, that uh, religion was used as a means to uh, control the people in a certain way. Like, it's always been like that. So at least how it's supposed to be. Yeah, if exercise and believe, do your whole religion, whatever you choose, whether it's stupid or not. Um, America's supposed to be like. The land of the free, but yet you already know everything's all ass backwards here, and it's all a big illusion anyway. And no one takes the Constitution seriously anymore. And hopefully, hopefully one day people will wake the hell up and actually see what the hell is going on, and see that we don't really have freedoms in this country. It can be manipulated in any way, and maybe one day we will, but a hell of a lot more people need to wake the hell up and actually understand what's going on. And hopefully, I know these videos do bring some new people that actually get to see, there's tens of thousands of videos of government corruption online. So I don't even know why it's a question if it is happening or not, or how people say, oh, it's only one bad cop out of the whole barrel. That's so far from the truth. You have so much, evidence to prove otherwise, yet people don't care to see it. Some people just stay in their own mindset their whole life, and back the blue till it happens to you is legit as it gets. So I don't know. We'll see how America turns out, but
Well, you know what? Just in the the 1A community, quote unquote, there's a rising tide, because I've noticed I've been following for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and then I got really involved after a cop tried to violate my rights. And I found the record button on my phone so fast I didn't even know where it was. But I got that oath breaker on film. But I've noticed, some of the bigger channels like Lackluster, San Joaquin Valley Transparency, Bay Area, that other guy from Long Island, their membership numbers are going up. And that doesn't mean that there's just a million people that are subscribing to all the same channels. that means that there are hundreds of thousands of people that are starting to become aware and are tuning in and are becoming educated. I just don't
Yeah.
know if they're ready to fight and tell the cop, no, yeah, I'm not giving you my ID. If F you, go away, you're dismissed. I'm doing my business, and that's it.
Yeah, it might take some more time to have more people actually have the balls to use their rights that they have. But I don't know. That's why I'm doing like the whole. I gotta actually after this, I gotta edit a shit ton more press passes for people because when people like I'm putting people under the Butt Crack News Network umbrella to where the press passes. There's you don't need a press pass exercise. You're right to the press, but what it does is kind of makes people more comfortable in doing so because they are actually represented by a news network and an umbrella to where they send me their video, I can help them out. And what I'm trying to do is anybody that wants to get out there and record the government, hit me up at flexyourfreedoms@gmail.com, my YouTube name at Gmail, because I'll get you the minimum subscribers needed to be able to live stream. Because the biggest weapon we have against
Yeah.
the government is a live stream capability. And I want to help as many people as possible to get that capability themselves to live stream so they don't have to be afraid. Are they going to delete my footage? Are they going to just steal my phone? At least you'll have a solid record of it. And that's what I want to do
Right.
to as many as
Yeah,
I
I
can.
know. I had a cop on one video kind of when I started. He was like, "Yeah, you and your 5 subscribers." Now I was like, "No, dude, I can go
That's me.
live right now. I can go live right now." And I think a lot of cops don't understand. If you can go live, it means you got a subscriber base, and that doesn't mean just like the subscribers that you have. It's the reach that you have because
Yeah,
like
it,
I had like maybe 300 or 400 subscribers and some of the other channels highlighted my videos and it was like I don't know 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views. I mean it was a couple of years ago, but I don't think these cops understand that. I'm
yeah, because
like
yep, if you got like some certain videos or whatnot, sometimes it's hard to reach those big channels that share the videos. But like for me, I'm kind of a middleman because I don't really share other people's videos because I do my own thing. I kind of want to maintain that. However, there's certain government misconduct in any way and you get it on film, I could be the middleman to get those big channels like a Lackluster or certain people like that. Here's the deal, James Freeman, that would actually want to share that video. So I'm kind of the middleman. Whether I don't necessarily do it myself unless if it's uh, something up my alley, I suppose.
well what about you keep Flex Your Freedom as its mode, the way you've always done it with grandma and, the Muslim lady, and, whatever. And then a separate one just for BCNN.
Well, that's what I originally did. I had the Butt Crack News Network as my second account, as my alt.
Yeah.
But and another reason why I did that because I used to live stream everything that I did. That way, I didn't want to have that problem of cops getting my thing and deleting it or stealing my phone, whatever. I always live streamed every interaction, every investigation I went out as. But as soon as my channel got bigger, we had all the trolls, haters, the nerds, the cops that would just call into that department, that town, and say, "Hey, this YouTuber's out here doing this and this," and then you don't get the actual interaction that I want. But I gave that Butt Crack News Network channel to a friend that I met in Iowa because he needed help to expose the local government here because it's super corrupt. So I was like, you know what? I'll give you this channel and have it, you can do whatever you want. Or else that's probably what I would be doing on that channel right now. I just don't want
Yeah.
to have to start fresh and new because that shit sucks to make a new channel again. I do have the Billy Butt Crack channel that has like it's not even 900 subscribers, but sometimes on there I'll do like all my Second Amendment shit because if you show a gun on YouTube nowadays, they'll
Yeah.
take your video down and you can get a warning or a strike from it. and I've got
Yeah, you get a strike if you show on if you show a firearm on a live stream, they'll take you down right away.
live streams, and then if you post anything Second Amendment, or like my deployment videos and whatnot that have guns or shooting in it, the algorithm won't want to carry those videos, so it kind of just kills off what you could potentially get. And you can look at the algorithm and see exactly how it's working, whether you can have record likes or record viewer retention rate, but since it has that certain things in it, because AI and whatnot will pick that up, yeah, you're cucked. It won't send you through the algorithm, and it kills off your videos. But yeah, even like I didn't even show my gun because I had an M4 at the time on me, but it showed the part of the butt stock on there, and that was enough in itself to get it, to give me not a strike. It was a warning, but then it prevented me from live streaming for 24 hours. And but the second channel, Billy Buttcrack, is I'm gonna just post all that Second Amendment shit on there, live stream, and because I don't really care if that channel gets banned. It's not mine. But yeah, right now I have 0 warnings and strikes on this, so we're good.
Yeah, and that's by
real quick,
country.
back to
Because I
the,
was in hey, hang on, Steve, real quick. And that's by country because I was in a live stream panel in Europe, and I showed a just a holster. It just had an American flag. It was a holster. It was just a gun holster. I didn't even put the gun on the live stream, and boom, I was out.
really?
It wasn't even the mods or anything. It was YouTube that went in and just pulled me out.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe,
Damn.
yeah, I guess it could be different by each country. I wouldn't doubt it, especially with the capabilities they got now to detect shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like Dave. We were talking to X and Nacho last night about how bad Canada's getting with YouTube and the
Yeah.
country.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's only a matter of time for here.
Yep.
Sadly.
Yep, I truly believe that too. But back to
Slowly
the
getting worse.
credentials, because credentials aren't even a real thing, right? It's
No,
just
yeah, it's not needed. It's issued by the news company in itself. But if you look at it, to get certain access in, access restricted places for media, they always require a press pass. So whether like I get a hell of a lot more views than any of the local news out in these small towns and shit, but it would be like my news network is literally 50 times. I could reach 50 times more than them, but they don't consider me to be official. So that's another reason why I got the press passes and whatnot. And I gotta just work on that a bit more, and I'm gonna try to establish like a big network of butt crack news network people, that investigative journalists, because that's what you are. If you're under my umbrella, you're all investigative journalists, and that just makes it more official to the government eye and the public, even though it doesn't fucking matter. It's a right, but
yeah.
people are so dumb they don't understand. But if you have that official press pass, you're like, oh damn, this guy has the credentials. I ain't gonna fuck with him now. And it actually
Yeah.
does work. Like it's worked for me to where, and it's weird because cops will come up to me and, hey, like they don't know who I am, some of them, and they'll say, hey, give me your ID, and I'm like, I didn't bring my ID, sir. I got my press pass, and they're like, okay, yeah, let me see it. Then I give it to them. They'll look at it, Butt Crack News Network, and they're like, oh fuck. And so they might have heard of Butt Crack News Network, and they're okay, we're good to go. See ya, because they have heard of Butt Crack News Network. And like I've never been to Florida while I've been doing this, and yet in certain parts of Florida, they're even doing to all the public servants and the government officials, they're sending like memos that say, watch out, these people have a network, and Butt Crack News Network, and just talking about BCNN and whatnot. And it's like, what the hell? I've never even been over there. But that's
BCNN. I love that.
yeah, I want to get it just worldwide. I want to get it as many people that want to jump on the train of freedom as possible, that want to have that have the balls to actually want to stand up. I'm giving them a chance to get out there to where I'll get you those minimum subscribers to go live. you know, if this is what you want to do, hell yeah, that's our mission here. We need more patriots watching the government and holding them accountable. And the way to do that is live stream them, is to film them. Be safe about it. You know, I got the best subscriber base, so when I get you those subscribers, it's going to be some of the best coming on your channel right off the rip. So, you know, and plus,
Right.
I'll be documenting all these channels that I give it to where I can go check your videos out. Or if you're in trouble, you know, maybe I could help or send, you know, messages out to, hey, we need to bail this guy out because of this. Here's the video for it. You know, we could have your back that way. And I think it's just a very smart idea to start kind of the BCNN Butt Crack News Network movement, get more people on board.
Well, and there's other news that we can do, but one thing I was thinking about just now is Denver Metro audits. You know, he's made the statement several times. He's like, literally, I'm in the job that I want. How was it he said it? He goes, I have the job that I want to be eliminated by everybody understanding my rights.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same
Say
thing.
it 3 times real fast.
Okay, DMA, Denver Metro Audit, the Mile High Auditor said, you know, literally, I have the job. He said, okay, yeah, I make some money off of my channel or whatnot, but he said, I literally have the job that I want to be out of a job because if everybody understood my rights and I was able to, you know, just film in public without all this chaos, that, you know, I wouldn't have a channel anymore. And he goes, then I can move on to other things.
It's off, right? That's how you can kill us all off. You know, if they all respect our rights, no content. We don't gotta showcase anything because they're doing the right thing. Or if they come up to you and act how they're supposed to act, professional, and treat you right, I share those videos. You know, it very rarely happens, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll be the first one to get out there and be like, hell yeah, you know, you did the right thing. I'll highlight that, no problem.
Yep.
And if they don't show up, that's a win anyway. You might not get the content, you might have wasted your time, but you know that things are changing and they're doing the right thing. Whether they might be privy to what you're doing, but at the same time, if that's what it takes to affect change with a camera, then hell yeah, then there you go. There's your answer to hold them, you know, to make them act right. Just have a camera out there because they never know who's behind the camera or where this video can go.
Yeah, that's the point.
And I agree with that too. Highlighting the ones doing the right thing, the good, you know. But,
and I have another video too that I dropped like 2.5 years ago, but I ended up putting all my videos on private and re-uploading them and whatnot. But I do have another video to where in Iowa City, in a place called University Heights, where the Iowa Hawkeyes play football, there's a little police department there. And I went up there, I audited them first and they passed. They did a good job. And I came back a couple months later and I talked to the police chief. I was like, hey, I want to do a ride along with you. And he's like, hell yeah, let's do it. Except we're not going to be doing a ride along. We're going to be doing a walk along because their job was to walk around, you know, when the football game happened. And he took me out, showed me everything. And I wanted to hear what his beliefs are. And he's like, you know, I'm not law enforcement officer. I'm a peace officer. And he actually honors the oath. And that's very, very rare to find because 95% of them don't. And he's a leader because if you know a guy that is doing the right thing, honoring his oath, and he's the leader, the chief, then chances are all those under him will fall in line and not be little corrupt nerds. And so it all starts from the top. And I'm gonna re-edit that video and drop it here soon as well because that does need to be shown that there are some that are doing the right thing, whether you like cops or not. Very rare, don't get me wrong. I'd say 95% of them don't know jack about that oath or care to honor it. But you might find ones here and there, the maybe 5 out of 100 that, you know, are doing the right thing. And if they're in the leadership position, hell yeah, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to look at. And but I'll be dropping that one here soon as well because that needs to be
and I mean, and that's what I always say too is that I don't hate cops. or I'm not against cops. I'm against bad cops. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
a majority of them are bad. That's why I'm surprised at this poll I put up. Wow.
Hey, well, you know what?
51%. Mostly good, but some bad apples. It's like that's backwards. It's
Where we at
mostly
on that?
bad, but some good apples.
Yeah, I can't see
Well,
jack.
that chief that Fletcher Freedom's talking about, he's the vast difference between a leader and a boss.
Yeah. Most of them, they
I
like to be
mean,
corrupt anyway. They'll do their own thing,
yeah.
go about things their own way, and very few will actually understand that they are a public servant. And to be a servant means, um, you're under the person. You're a servant too, so they're under the people. Yet most of them think they're untouchable gods or cops or judges, whoever, way up here, and these are the people. But very few understand they're below. They're below the people. They're kind of like their little bitches, which yeah, they kind of are. But that's not a bad thing. In the land of the free, that's a great thing. If they're understanding that, yeah, I'm below the people. I'm here to serve the people. And uphold and protect their rights. I mean, they're not here for our safety because Supreme Court already ruled. They already said their piece on that. So we know that
Hmm.
that's not here for our safety. For safety reasons. You got to be here for yourself or for your family, friends. You got to, whether it's
Oh yeah.
being armed, you got to understand weapon safety, how to use weapons. Never point a weapon at somebody unless if you're going to end their life, because that's what it comes down to. Um, but yet we see, even in Afghanistan when I was there, um, we had rules of operate or rules of engagement (ROE) to where we would never shoot at somebody or aim our weapon at somebody unless if we're getting shot at. And as soon as you aim your weapon, you best be dropping that person, because and
Hmm.
look at what's behind them. Make sure there's no innocence behind them. But that's exactly what we did. Then I come home to America, the best country. It's the freest country. And then I see cops just aiming their gun at anybody for traffic reasons or something stupid. It's like, what the hell? We didn't even do that in a war zone. But yet we're coming out here and they're treating the American public like it's worse than a war zone. And that blows my mind. That should never happen, never be acceptable. Yet all these people say, yes, it should be. So I don't know. It's horrible that people are that dumb. But they'll find out
Yeah.
soon. If a world war or something happens, they're going to find out soon the hell of it, and that they've lived a lie and they've made the wrong choices in supporting what they have supported. So we'll see how that turns out. I just hope everybody is prepared as you can get, because you guys are in Hawaii, right?
I'm in
So
Hawaii. Yeah.
yeah, so I
It's
understand, having weapons out there is like almost impossible. So
nearly impossible. Yep.
yeah, so I feel for you, and when shit kicks off, I hope you're able to do what you can to survive. But uh, I don't think people are ready for the impending doom that could potentially, most likely, will happen. And I think it could happen certainly within a couple of years. I hope not. I hope I'm completely wrong, but judging by history and how it's worked out in the current world events going on, you're going to see more of the Iran Israel shit pop up. And that's going to carry more. You'll see China take over Taiwan, and that's just a little part of it. And things are going to get even more serious. You just pay attention, make sure you're prepared. My advice is, if you don't have weapons, get yourself some weapons. If you don't know jack shit about weapon safety or how to do things, YouTube is a great tool. You can get all your answers on there. There's countless videos of it. And so you don't need to feel intimidated by getting that, or go find somebody that can teach you proper weapon safety and how to shoot. Make sure the big thing is water after weapons to defend yourself. You got to get water. So you're going to need certain purification systems when shit goes down. You already seen how the Wuhan virus and whatnot affected America. People were rushing all over to get toilet paper, and that went out right away. No toilet paper, no hand sanitizer. Trust me, it's going to get much, much worse when shit actually pops off. You're not going to be able to get anything. So you just got to be prepared and ahead of the curve, because most Americans, yeah, they're pretty stupid. They're going to not be prepared, and most will perish if they're not. But if you're smart, prepare yourself now before it's too late. I've been buying just for the water stuff. I already have, like, I'm good to go. I'm set on everything, but I'm just preparing myself more by, hey, every time I go to the store, I'm gonna buy 15 gallons of water and just store it away, because I'm gonna be ready for it, because most people aren't, and by the time it happens, you're gonna be looking to get that water. It's gonna be just like the COVID days, to where you can't get anything, can't get the proper
Yep.
supply. So do it while you can before it's too late, is my advice.
Well, me and Steve were talking right before you came on. Israel was hitting Iran. We were just talking about that backstage, just like you were saying. That war
Is it a new? Is it new?
Yeah, it just happened like maybe 10 minutes before we started.
Oh shit. Yeah, and I'll have to see what exactly that's all about, or what actions
It doesn't look too crazy, but
yeah, they're
Well, Israel hit Iran and Syria. I mean, I'm not saying they're wrong, but that's what kicked that whole BS off. But you got to look at the whole chain of events when some, look, the news ran after it because they were like, "Look, all the pretty lights in the sky. Let's get some video of this." And whoever's on the ground capturing video. And see, this is where mass media is the asshole, because there's people on the ground with a phone and they give those people no credit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I didn't know that Israel responded. I'm gonna have to dig into that, because, dude, I don't think people realize what that can spawn.
They don't understand at all, dude.
We go against nuclear countries with those capabilities, and it starts hitting hard wars. They're going to be using them eventually. It's just a matter of time, and then who knows what's going to happen next?
Well, they threaten each other's nuclear facilities. Imagine all they have to do is hit one nuke facility.
Yeah, and you already know people, like, especially if they're really old, or they're failing health or whatever it may be, they're going to make decisions more rash, to where, yeah, we're gonna press that button, before they do.
I'm gonna die anyways.
Yeah,
Go out with a bang.
They're going to get theirs, and that's going to be the start of the end of, probably, hopefully not everything, but you never know. It very well could be. They always say the World War III's not going to be fought with, or the next World War is going to be fought with sticks and stones, because of the capabilities of the nuclear weapons and whatnot that we have going on now. It's just going to destroy everything. And yeah, maybe those that survive, will be sticks and stones. Going to restart everything. So, but at the same time, who knows? I hope it never happens. But let's be realistic here. If you follow history, understand it, chances are it's going to happen again, and it's not going to look good for anybody. It's the worst possible thing, and it's going to be hell on earth. So
yeah, well, I mean, I think the big
anyone that to be realistic, when it does happen, anyone that is surprised has been living in a fantasy world, because
and they're going to be some of the first to perish, because they didn't prepare themselves whatsoever. They don't understand just the full atrocities that are going to be taking place. It's going to make World War II look like child's play compared to what is actually going to happen. Just a matter of time when it's going to happen. The chances are it will. I hope it doesn't. I hope I'm completely wrong, but you got to be realistic about things. And
like, I'm within 20 miles of a base, so it's a major target. So if this pops off in one rogue nation like Iran gets a stick up there, whatever, and just decides to unleash maybe they only have 10, and they unleash 10, hyper capable nuclear warheads, and it hits any kind of major city, and there's pandemonium. But anybody that lives within a 50-mile radius of a major city in anywhere in the world, a population above 5 million, If you're within 50 miles, you're going to be one of those ash statues.
You don't even
As if.
do anything that big to start panic, dude. It's just you could do something small, start mass panic.
Oh yeah,
And
it'll
as if.
happen. I'm sure people have already infiltrated through the borders. Not saying the Mexicans, but a bunch of
No,
other people from other countries that don't like America. Yeah, of course they went through the border. They knew it. I mean, common sense, right? If
oh
you're
yeah,
a regime or a bad organization that wants to do harm to America, hell yeah, they've been through the border already. They're already here. It's just a
Chinese
matter of time
nationals.
before they act out. So it's I don't know. That's why you gotta stay strapped as well.
And as if it's your business, I'm less than 10 miles from Pearl Harbor, and everyone knows what happened there, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, that if
I'm
that's
ready, bro.
well, one thing I read about targets a long time ago, and Flex Your Freedom, thank you for your service, and I know you know a lot more about targets than probably all of the audience combined. But one thing that I did read about targets is that if you are if you're an adversary, you don't necessarily target infrastructure as much as you target something that the country values, like um, blow up the Statue of Liberty and see how pissed off America gets.
Bro, just blow up the water treatment plant. It's over. It's over.
There's a lot of ways it could be over. I mean, you get the electrical grid down. People don't know what to do without electricity nowadays. They're all attached to their nerd ass phones. They don't know how to do things themselves. Once that goes out,
That's
that's
true.
why you need to get yourself survival books on how to do certain things. I bought some. I don't know it all, but I bought those books in case when it does go out that hey, this is how you can survive. This is how you build shelter. All this shit. At least I have that now, and I do highly recommend. Go on Amazon, get a book for $10. And if shit happens and it comes down to it, you're gonna be like, damn, I'm happy I got that book because yeah, once the power goes out, the mass panic that will happen it'll be like literally 1,000 times what COVID brought. Like it's
oh yeah.
saying
Me and my
people
brother have decided just to eat people when it goes down. We're just gonna eat our neighbors.
fun, great protein. You get an obese neighbor, that'll last you probably about the whole winter season. So
Right.
that is a good idea. But at the same time, you're going to have to, put a bunch of salt on them because you won't have proper refrigeration, So or smoke them. I don't know. You
Smoke
got
them
to
and dig a hole.
I could just see Grandma now doing reconnaissance on, future, meat that needs to be in the freezer.
That's the Book of Eli. I don't know if you guys saw that movie, but
I've seen some of it.
yeah.
I sadly don't watch too many movies. I probably should though, because there are some really good ones out there that I missed out on. But yeah,
Oh,
it's
don't
shit's
have a
getting
lot of time.
Yeah, I just say, while you're in here watching, get yourself prepared to the minimum at least. I mean, you might not have that much money, but if you got $50, you could get yourself a survival book, try to figure out I don't know, I guess $50 won't get you far, but use some of that money before it's too late, before the money just starts crashing, and you can't get things that you need. Do it before everybody else panics to do it. That's my big
Well,
advice.
hey, you know what? I will say this. I just happened upon some videos in the last year or so about on YouTube, and it says, okay, so you're in a subdivision, so you can still drill a well. Um, it might be like a 4-inch drill, and somehow they get down to the water table, and then they cap it off and say, look, just leave it capped off, and that way you're ready. You might be the only one in your neighborhood that's ready, and just keep it sort of low key, and you have connection to that water table that's under your house, and just got to do a few things to fix it so that you can pipe it into your house.
Yeah, I mean, if
So there's ways to do lots of different things. even if you're in one of those Nazi HOA, communities.
Yeah.
Oh, don't bring up HOA, man.
Yeah,
I
I'll
fucking
never get
hate
a
HOA.
HOA. Yeah, it's horrible.
HOA.
I could never live in one. That's hell no.
No.
It's not freedom.
They're
And they
worse
pay
than the
for it,
freaking
too.
cops.
Right?
You can't have a campfire, dude. You can't do anything. Like your grass is too long. So what?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what.
I like it long.
It's not freedom. That's not the land of the
Mhm.
free whatsoever. That's the opposite.
I burn
Screw
my
that.
grass,
Yeah.
but
I guess Hawaii, you only got X amount of options there anyway. But
Right.
hey, well,
it's a
in
beautiful
Hawaii they
place.
don't have it's hard. It's going to be hard to survive in Hawaii because they don't have squirrels.
Dude, he could hide out in Hawaii. I'm sure there's some
It's
cave
got a
or
bunch of
something
fish,
crap
but
to hide in.
yeah, Hawaii is badass. I was there for about a month on the Big Island, but I had my old squad leader in the Army. Ended up inviting me down there when I was feeling my best, and I got to hang out with him, and I've seen a bunch of Hawaii. Hawaii is badass. I don't know about living there, but certainly visiting there is a must. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Check it
Well,
out.
and you said the Big Island, yeah, it's way different because I'm in Oahu, and my wife's oldest daughter lives on the Big Island, and we go and visit her and the grandkids. But huge difference. Like Big Island's kind of more like the way I explain it is because I was born and raised in Detroit. So the way I look at it is like the Big Island is kind of like going up north, Michigan, and then Oahu is kind of like Detroit. I mean, not comparing it to Detroit. I'm just saying like big city, high rises, all that shit,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
Dude, don't be bashing our hometown.
yeah, screw Detroit, man. I left for a reason.
Got love for Detroit.
yeah. Never been there. Maybe one day.
Don't ever come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
If
probably
you
get
do,
me.
go up north.
I get New
Go up
Grand.
north.
Yeah.
They'll probably get me.
You ever come to Oahu though, man? Yeah, definitely hit me up because yeah, Oahu is fun, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Hawaii is
I mean,
badass. It's completely different from the rest of the states. They're on their own schedule, own time. They do shit
yep.
way slower over there, way slower.
Oh yeah.
It's just the way they do it, I guess. But at the same time,
They
that's
call
probably
it
the best way
island
to
time.
fire.
They call it
Yeah.
island time.
Yeah. Hawaii time.
Well, no, island time because it's not just Hawaii. Any group of islands, like okay, so I'm in IT and I hear these stories about groups of islands, different parts of the world, and so what happens is, like the 48 states, like if something's broken, you got a warranty on it, you got a technician up your butt the next day. But on the islands or any group of islands, right? There's a group in the Caribbean, there's some in Hawaii, and they just sort of call it island time because the technician has to amass enough tickets in order to justify the plane ticket to go from one island to the next in order to do repairs, and that could be months.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I'm gonna turn the truck on just briefly.
I was just about to say, you better
And
start that truck, dude. Your battery's gonna go
Don't
dead.
wanna- Yeah,
because I
that
remember
happened one of my
last
last.
week you were live and your battery died. I remember I was watching
That
that
would
or
suck.
listening to that
Oh,
when I
yeah.
was working. But
I see you got your go bag in the back seat, so you'll be all right though.
Well, it's empty right now.
Oh, okay.
I just have a bunch of props and random shit in here that I gotta actually clean out. A bunch of clothes, but I don't have much.
Got your grandma panties in there?
No, I probably should get some though. I do have so one big thing I do obviously like I do the baggie with a little Coke in it, skit shit. But somebody's like, hey, you should get a bag of math just because it sounds like meth. So bag of math. And it sounds
Matt,
just like it, like, hey, you want to do some math with me? And
Yeah.
they're like, what the hell? So I did buy some flashcards. I do have that. I did buy the math calculator. I got like a little math book that I'm going to put in a little baggie just to add some more stuff.
That's awesome.
I'm also going to do like a baggie with a little for heroin. It's going to be a heron, the little bird thing. I'm going to put in the bag. So I'm just going to have a bunch of shit. And then eventually I want a cop to actually be like, all right, I'm gonna search you then or whatever, and I'm just gonna have the most like messed up things in my pockets, like dildos, like bunch of weird shit on me, to where I'm gonna be like on the ground, like I'll tell them, spread the cheeks, whatever, just make it super stupid, and then he's gonna pull out like, what the hell, like that's gonna come up soon. We're gonna try making that happen. See if they do it. Sure they
Wear a
will.
trench coat and then open both sides at the same time and just have all of it hanging
There you go.
on the
Yeah, I
coat.
could do that. Yeah, I could. That's a good idea. That would take a lot of work though to do all that. I don't know if
Sure.
Throw a tool in there for some trade. Maybe Steve can tell you one that's just so weird that you can't tell what it is unless you're in that trade, right? It just looks so. It looks like suspicious, but you can't tell what it is. You don't know what it is, but you just say, "Ah, it looks suspicious. It could do, I don't know what." But you know, the tool with this guy is suspicious, and we're just gonna throw a charge on him.
Yeah, so you got to watch out too. That's why I don't, like, for the grandma, I don't bring like a cane or a like
No.
specific cane. I don't bring those because they'll be like, yeah, that's a weapon. Or, but I
Oh
do.
yeah.
I'm gonna be doing it soon. I did buy like a blow up cane and a blow up walker. So it's just it's just
That's
gonna look.
even funnier though. Blow up Walker. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I'll
You
try
know what
that.
else you could do is like, man, I got rocks. Cause I know in Detroit, crack is rocks. I got rocks. And just have a
There you
bag
go.
of
I haven't
rocks.
even heard it called that before, but I
I
could
love
do
the
that.
bag of math though, man. That's
Yeah,
pretty great.
that'll be somebody said that. Like, I'll take, if somebody has some really good ideas, sure, I might think some are stupid and not do them, but if you do have some funny ideas, just hit me up in my comment section or email flexofreedoms@gmail.com. And like that, somebody said, hey, do the bag of math, and I bought it, right after I seen that. I was like, shit, I'm gonna go on Amazon right now and get that ordered. And that's gonna be a good one. I also bought today like $140 worth of secret agent spy gear just to make it stupid. And we're gonna do some secret agent stuff coming up, and that's gonna be a good one.
Hey Flex, I got one that's not a funny idea, and I actually floated it across to AFA, Accountability for All, because accountability is and his channel name. I there's a local government office here that says accountability, and so I thought, it said accountability court or something like that, and so I looked it up, and I thought maybe it was like the office that deals with keeping judges accountable. But what it actually it's a court system just for veterans, so that they have a different type of interface with the government when they have issues with legal issues with the government.
Oh, interesting. I've heard of
Yeah.
something like that. I know if you're in the military, you got your own the JAG office and whatnot, but yeah, I haven't
Well,
heard
this
that.
is like I guess this would be like a civilian JAG office, sort of. And it's just for veterans, and it's just so that this court can address veterans at their level or interface with them differently than if you take them and put them in a regular court system. And I guess they're flagged because if whatever their offense is, if it seems like it might have come from PTSD or something like that, then the court, they move them over to the accountability court.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I've never heard of that.
But that would be a great story.
That would have
And
helped me out. Shit.
well, if you ever come to Georgia, let's do that story together.
There you go. Maybe one day I'll get back to Georgia.
Going back to Georgia. I don't think so.
Georgia.
Got to get some peaches, bro.
Yeah, yep, Georgia peaches. Georgia's pretty nice. They have some Savannah, Georgia's badass. I like that. That's where I went to basic training in airborne school in Fort Benning, Georgia. So,
Yep.
I was
Been
there
there.
6 months, maybe. That's about it. But I hated it when I was there.
Hard work.
Yeah, hard times, I suppose. But happy I'm done with that.
character building moments in life.
Yep.
So Steve, what you got?
But
Dropping another
shoot, well,
topic
no,
on us.
we're coming up on the
Yeah.
2 hour, and I told Flex that it's usually about 2 hours, so I don't want to hold him up. I know he's probably got a ton of things to do.
That's
Yeah,
right.
But
I got to do all those press passes before I go to bed. Sad. I don't want to, but I told people I would do it, so I got to do it. And plus, my phone's at 11%. It's
Ooh,
so we're getting down there. But luckily, this phone stays powered on for quite some time. But yeah, we're getting low.
cool.
we appreciate you being here, man. Love your
Yeah,
story and the
thanks for
videos.
having me. Normally, I hate doing panels or interview type panel type shit, but it's been a good experience at least. I think it's more in my head that I got like super anxiety, so I hate doing this shit anyway. But
Man, we hope you had a lot of fun here.
yeah, it was a good experience, and I'll make sure to I'll share it on the community tab for you, and maybe some of my supporters could go say hi to you or check out the video and whatnot.
Well, you're welcome to comment. You're welcome to comment on my a-hole, interactions with cops. I mean,
Just let them know I'm a little peon and I need help.
There you go. My biggest advice, though, if you're starting a YouTube channel or doing a YouTube channel, I mean, the biggest advice I would say is understand the difference between content and non-tent. There's a big difference here. Content's the good shit, carries along the story. But if you have a bunch of non-tent or downtime, no one wants to watch that shit. You got to just kick that shit out of here. Kick all the non-tent no one cares to watch out of there. You got to understand the viewer base that and how they actually would watch videos to retain them. You want to keep them retained for as long as possible to where your videos could start going through the algorithm, because if you're putting out a bunch of shit no one cares about, even though if you think, yeah, this is some cool stuff, but you got to think about what the people want and what they like to watch. If it's a bunch of non-tent stupid shit, yeah, you're not going to get views, And I know for you, Steve, you have I checked out your thumbnails. You actually do a really, really good job with the thumbnails. And I'm going to be upgrading. Like I talked to Direct Deep, you know who that is, today on the phone. And he kind of guided me to where how to make better thumbnails and whatnot, because that is a big part. You need people, and your titles. You need people to click those. Hey, that thumbnail looks good, or hey, that's a good title. Said something, that's how you get them to click. But you also got to get them to retain. You got to put, like, if you have a big video, let's say I have a 30-minute video of interactions with the cops. In the first like 2 minutes, I do like a quick. I don't want to give away everything in the video, but you want to do like a quick recap of what's about to be played on the video to condense it to be like, oh shit, little clips of it. Oh, this is going to be happening. Okay, this is going to be good. Let's watch this. But yeah, if you just throw out lame ass non-tent videos, then you can't expect people to watch it and get the proper support. You gotta once you learn that, you'll be set. And once you learn how to do your channel, whatever kind of channel it may be, find your own way, find your groove. Look at the big channel, see what they're doing, and you can kind of take bits and pieces from them. It could be in a complete other genre, and just you got to separate the content from the non-tent, and then put it together, and you should start getting some more views and some better outcomes for your videos once you do that.
I say where Steve does really well with his, because I pushed him on doing member stuff for a while, and he really stepped up his game, because he has some great emojis just for members.
See, I'm way behind on that.
Steve
I
can help
don't
you.
really offer much with my members because I'm so busy trying to get content for the regular channel anyway. I don't really have surplus to put out for members, but luckily for me, I got like 300 members to where people, they're willing to just support me for what I do, and they do the members tab. That's what a lot of people do. They'll just become a member if they really like what you're doing, or there to watch you all the time. You'll have that solid support base that always has your back. And that's kind of what they do for me. Otherwise, yeah, I don't give them a whole lot. I have my old, maybe about like 10 videos, or 15. I don't know how many I got in the members that aren't on the
Oh, you
regular.
got quite a few, actually.
See, I don't even
Yeah,
know what's up there, but I have just a bunch of, and I put my live streams on there. I just, for the most part, I put those on members only so people can enjoy them that way. If they, I don't even know why they would want to watch some of it, but yeah, some of them do, and it works out. I got to get better at it myself, but
yeah, you have over 50 members only. Shoot, over
oh, do
60.
I? Oh shit, I didn't even know that. Probably a lot of them are live streams, or I do have a bunch of edited videos that were kind of when I first started to where they're more cringy, and I mean, they still have funny parts for sure, but some of them are just a little too cringy for me because I, look at my content through a harder lens, I suppose, and I don't want to put out just stuff that I wouldn't want to watch. And so that's for members and they seem to actually like most, some of it anyway. So
Well, I'll
And
just tell you because I listen to a lot of content during the day. I don't, because I'm on premium YouTube, so I can just
yeah,
I can
without
shut my
that,
screen off on. Yeah, well, it's not just that. The reason I did it because I can shut my screen off and still listen.
yeah,
So I can put my phone in my pocket and I can listen to 1A content all day, and I don't necessarily need to see it. I don't need to see the look on a cop's face. I don't need to see all these different interactions. Just based on the verbal, I know what's happening. I mean, most of us that have been watching it for a while, you don't really need to sit there and watch it. You know what's going on because when the trolling starts, you don't need to see it. You're hearing it.
yeah. And by
yeah.
the way, gentlemen, my battery's at 3%
Yeah,
now.
we gotta
so it's
go.
probably a good
Okay,
time to
I just want to say real quick, what you said you're going on with Brian from Here's the Deal tomorrow. What time are you doing that?
I think it's like 3 p.m. Central Time or something like that. I'll
All
put I guess I probably won't advertise it before it starts, but I'll make sure I put it on my community tab either way if anyone
So
wants to watch.
6 Eastern.
Yeah.
right. No, three
Oh,
cents, so four
yeah,
three.
Eastern. But I just want to
Save-
make sure because I watch. Well, I watch Here's the Deal all the time too. So
Oh, okay. By the way, are you echoing on here if you talk? When do you talk? Say something.
oh, is it
Yeah.
echoing?
Echo.
Do you hear it echoing on my end?
Echo.
No.
Echo.
I heard it
All
a
right.
couple times, but not much.
Echo.
Okay. Yeah, we're good then. I didn't know if it would start echoing if I didn't have my earbuds in. So,
Echo.
and it might die too. It's at 1%, but it's
Again,
plugged in now.
we appreciate you being here, bro. Thanks
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
spending
thanks
time
for
with us.
having me on. I don't know how many more of these I'll end up doing, but because I mean, sometimes they do take a while. And at least right now, since I got out of jail, I've been super busy. So maybe when things start cooling down, or if I have a surplus of content, if that ever happens, I could do more of these. But if not, like I said, I'll make sure to put this on your community tab or on my community tab and see if I can't guarantee how many people will come to watch you or something, but you never know. You'll at least get some really good supporters that maybe you've never had before.
It's
Right
all
on,
good.
man. Yeah, and I do appreciate you coming up too, man. And do me one favor too. Let Grandma know that we love her, dude. She rocks.
Shit, I will let her know. I've not seen her in some time, but hey, she's probably out with the drug dealer. I don't know, maybe on the corner doing her thing, but she has to pay for them Mary Janes and Coke somehow. So I will let her know. She might be doing a special live stream surprise coming up soon because I want to I guess give my audience something worth watching, and that's going to be some more live stream investigations that I do. And instead of doing it static, I'll do some live for the people just so they can see how I do it behind the scenes and maybe give me some ideas in chat, because my whole thing, I try to read the chat as much as possible and interact with the chat. That's another thing. I don't know how you guys do it. I can't even see the chat on here, but that's a big thing, interacting with your chat, because you want to establish like a a friendly, personal, relationship with the chat, even if some of them are dumb nerds. I'll call them dumb nerds, but at least because that's what somebody always likes. If you're watching, like, hey, interact with me, or hey, read what I have to say, or whatever, and that helps tremendously because people come back to your channel and be like, oh, at least I could come here, type whatever, and they could be my friends or whatever, and interact with me. And I try my best. Sometimes chat, or if I have too many people in there, I can't. I barely could read anything because it goes all crazy. But that I do try to interact with chat as much as possible, unless if there's content going on, then I got to focus on the content. Obviously, don't want to cuck that. And then I come back to the chat, or anytime I do live streams, I always say hi to everybody, and then just interact as much as possible, because I could talk about nothing for like hours. I don't even know why, but probably because I don't talk to anybody outside of the YouTube. I'm a lonely nerd person that does their own thing. I don't even say hi. I talk to nobody. It's really weird, but maybe that's why I have a bunch
Not
of
weird. That's
shit
me.
to nothing to
Not
say.
weird.
But
It's because you can't
I don't
trust
know.
nobody, man.
I'm an actual nerd. I'm an actual nerd in IT, but hey, we all got to do what we got to do.
1%. Phone
Right
death
on,
in 10 seconds.
Make sure this is okay. Yeah, at least the battery's going back up, so the phone won't die as
sweet.
soon as I go in. But yeah, unless you guys have anything else you wanted to ask me or say, or maybe if you, I don't know, certain questions about the channel or something. But that's some good advice right there. I don't know what you're.
I heard a rumor that you did a video where you were lactating to a Cabbage Patch doll.
Oh shit, that has not happened. That is a rumor. I can't
All
confirm
right.
nor deny, but I don't think that has happened. No, I don't have a Cabbage Patch doll. But
Well,
that could be
maybe that
maybe down the
rumor fell
road.
out of the 1980s. I don't know.
It could have. I looked like a
Okay.
Cabbage Patch doll when I was a little kid. Though I didn't grow hair till I was like past 1 year old, like 2 years. It was really weird.
I'm just messing around, but anyway.
Any final thoughts, guys?
but yeah, anyone got final thoughts before we close out? Nope.
I'll start, man.
Again, one more time, belated happy birthday, Dave
Yeah,
Harloha.
happy birthday. We might be a day late, maybe two now, since, well, not for you, but for me, it's the next day already here. So, yeah, happy birthday. I don't know how old you are, but hell yeah.
And to you as well. A week late, but yeah,
Thank
48.
you.
I just turned 48, so
Okay, there you go. Still under the big 50. You got 2 more years.
49. I'm headed there in December, man. 50.
There. Right on. Right on. Hopefully I can make it there, but you never know. Sometimes you never know when you never know. It could be your last day tomorrow. You just got to make it worth living, and make sure you tell the people that love you that you love them back, and just do your thing. And don't take life too seriously, but you got to stand up for what's right. And they will fall in place. Things happen for a reason. So you just got to try. That's the only thing. You got to try. You can't just have shit come to you. You got to actually try. But I do believe things do happen for a reason.
Me too. I say that all the time. Good or bad, everything happens for a reason.
Yep, it'll mold you if it's bad stuff. Everyone's gonna have bad things. The worst part of life is death, and that can come at any moment to anybody you love or yourself. But live in the moment type of thing. Don't live on the past, or don't take the present for granted and only think about the future. You gotta just have fun with life before it can't be fun anymore. That's about it.
That's great advice right there. It's
a good place to end it out. I love it.
Hell yeah.
What about you? What about you, Dave? Anything? Any final thoughts?
Just wanted to say the whole reason I ever made my YouTube channel wasn't really to like get famous or get paid. You see, my name was Starved for Truth. I made that on purpose because I looked around and like I saw a bunch of people blind around me, man. Like people are wearing blinders. They don't understand what's going around in the world right now, bro. It's like people are like laughing and joking. No one's preparing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, my whole purpose was to like try to bring some truth and light. I mean, I got kind of went off on some music and something, but that was the whole purpose of joining YouTube for me, was to try to help people see what's going on out there and to prepare for it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a great platform. Well, at least it used to be, but it's a good, at least putting videos out there. Sure, I mean, you could change, if you change one person's life, for their way of thinking, that's a big win just by starting it. So if you just do one, but chances are, keep putting the good shit out, spreading the message, and more and more people will have their minds changed. Like I had my mind changed when I started watching these videos. I was completely against it. But then when I started to realize the truth and the message behind it, then I understood. And then that's when I started doing shit myself. I never thought I would be this. I was on pace to be a cop myself, out of the military. I was going to be, after the firefighter shit didn't go through, I was literally on pace. I was going to go become a police officer. And sure, I would have done the right thing compared to most. But at the same time, at least this avenue that I've somehow I led myself down or ended up happening to me, at least I do know that a lot of people have changed their mindset or actually understood why I do what I do. And that's a huge win. Whether my channel, gets taken down tomorrow, that's a victory for me, because I've made a little bit of an impact already, and that's more than I could have hoped for. So, you don't have to have a massive channel to make an impact. Somebody might just come across one of your videos, and if you do it right or send a certain message, they might just come and be like, you know what, that dude's right. Or you could change people's mind, and hopefully we have enough time to wake more Americans up, or more freedom lovers across the world up, and understand that, hey, if you do have certain freedoms, you best stand up for them, because they're being stripped down. You got to understand that, if you help strip down one right, it's screwing you and your whole family tree up. And that's just never acceptable in any way. You can't attack a certain freedom. Sure, you could be against it or be like, hey, I don't like what he's doing, but you best defend their right to do so, because that's going to screw everybody over. And I tell people that with free speech, having hate speech in there, that's all up to interpretation. And that's your freedom. If you don't like somebody, you could call them whatever name you want. That's what the whole freedom of speech is. You don't have to agree with it. Absolutely not. But you best defend their right to do it, because you're going to screw yourself over whether you know it or not.
That's right.
Yep.
It's true.
Absolutely.
It's totally true.
Right on.
My last,
everyone in
my last thing, just one. God bless our homeless veterans.
That's
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Oh,
I did
yeah.
speak with Jeff Gray on the phone not long ago, a few days ago, and that dude's doing the right thing for sure. I'm going to be doing that whole God bless the homeless veterans in my own twist, kind of a parody off of him. I'm even going to do like the Muslim version where I go, Allah bless the homeless veterans and whatnot, because it has multiple messages to it, whether you you agree with that religion or not. It's just it's a great way to say, hey, we might have our differences or whatnot, but at least respect my right to do this.
I appreciate
Well, and then you're doing the 3-prong attack on the First Amendment. I mean, that's pretty deep.
Yeah,
that's pretty deep, man. I mean, when you did that, I was like, wait, how did he capture all three? I didn't think about that for a minute. When I was watching the video, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute, did he hit 4? Well, but maybe he did hit 4 because he's petitioning on a public sidewalk.
The people watching, petition to redress. That's the people watching. If they
He
see
might have hit
something
all
wrong,
5.
that's up to them to do the 4. And then, the protesting and whatnot, that's that'll come afterwards, I suppose. But it's a great way to just exercise your rights, because we got to teach these government nerds that all swear an oath to it what our freedoms are, because they're so lazy they don't care. They got to see it firsthand what our freedoms are. And there's going to be a lot of Second Amendment stuff going on in the police department in town that I was arrested for speech. So you know, I'm going to do everything. They're going to see our freedoms. It's going to be all peaceful. You know, I'm not there to not be peaceful about it, but they're going to try painting me in a picture to where, yes, I'm inciting blah, blah, blah. I'm sure they will, just because they don't like what I'm doing.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, I'm guilty of inciting my constitutional right. Absolutely every day.
Yep.
Well, those are God-given rights, man. We got them.
Well,
Can't be
you know
broken.
what? Yeah, look, oh man, I'm okay. Look, you said God-given rights, and I'm not going to argue with you about that. But I will say this: the Constitution does say rights derived from our Creator, and Creator can be derived or thought of in a couple of different ways. You can say it from an entity such as God, or you can think about it in a way of your Creator or your parents. And so your parents endowed you with those rights when you were created.
Either or, I won't argue.
Right. They're still right, and they belong to us.
That's right.
There you go.
That is right.
Close it
Been
out,
a great
Steve.
show, brother. Been a damn good show.
Close it out, brother.
Good show. But right on. So shout out to everyone in chat and everyone that showed up tonight, and anyone that's watching this in the future. And definitely check out Flex Your Freedoms if you haven't already. And thank you again, Flex, for coming on, man. It was great meeting you. It was great talking with you.
Yeah, nice
And,
talking with you. For
I'm
sure.
gonna close out with the intro, and my final thoughts are gonna be have a beautiful morning, beautiful day, beautiful afternoon, beautiful evening, a beautiful night, whatever it may be, wherever you are. Much love, much aloha, and most importantly, God bless. Damn good show. Aloha, everyone.
Selling my soul, working all day, overtime hour, bullshit pay. So I could just sit here and waste my life away with Steve Harloha and Ronnie Cash today. It's such a damn shame.
It's unfiltered.
Coming in close and hot.
How do you make it out of your front door and you don't even know how to get gas? I just don't get it.
No, they're not going to take us out because they need us. We make the world go round.
You're just taking up space. You're here sucking up air.
How you doing today, brother? I hope everybody's doing great today and having a great weekend. But I said, no, let's go ahead and cook something to eat because I'm starving to death. It ain't nothing like home cooking. She just cooked some breakfast. But she made scrambled eggs, with bacon, biscuits, and gravy. There ain't that much left, though, because I ate just about all of it.
Still like 60 degrees. I'm like, oh, I'm cold. And
It was cool when I got here, but 2 days later I got up in the 70s and everybody went golfing. Tuesday, Halloween, it's supposed to snow in Michigan. Last year, Chris took a picture of me shoveling the driveway in my bathing suit.
I didn't like the cold weather even when I was young. And now, that's the last thing I want is cold and snow and everything.
It'll warm up, or in Michigan it won't.
You, Hawk, Chow, David Devine, my best friends on here. Then after the welcoming part, we get into the deep part when we have our guests up. Well, when we get them on, we can just shut up and let them go.
make a beer run. That was a long time ago. Ronnie's so old that he remembers preparation A.
I sure do.
Man.
More than likely sitting there puffing on one of them joints, so.
$15 for an eighth.
Gold chip.
That's pretty good.
I think that there was some shit that came over, whether it be underwater, through the ice passage in the ice wall, above water, or maybe it's just portals that can open up.
They've got certain depths that submarines can't even go to.
Any other times in your plumbing career has something sounded as crazy as the Old Faithful butthole story?
Loving this, where the guy comes in and interviews the host. This is wonderful.
It's a great story. I had so many questions.
For medical misinformation, they can go f themselves. We talked to absolutely nothing about medical whatsoever. There's 11 full-grown German Shepherds in here right now.
An old friend told me that I looked like an orange with a toothpick shoved through it.
There's a special place in hell for that.
He's supposed to be the smart one.
Round out how to kill that rooster as the rooster's gone.
We're going in one ear and out the other.
You're gonna turn the air conditioner up. I know how you get hot when you're sitting in that spot. Satan himself is dwelling right there in that computer, and we are fighting against him, bro. Hey, I want y'all to keep kicking ass, because y'all are kicking ass.
Oh, and Gary, this question's been on my mind for a while now. Could you please watch our show more often and keep your son in line?
I tried.